Discord. If you don't use Discord, what the hell are you doing? Everybody in WoW uses Discord. It's a big part of the game. We already talked about this whole thing. Discord's going to go public, which kind of sucks because once a company goes public, fiduciary duty to the investors and all that shit, usually the product suffers and suddenly profit margins matter that much more. But there's problems right now at Discord. Something's happening. Discord's founder is being forced to leave the company, and the company needs to check. What is going on here? Let's find out what's going on in the latest update of Discord's venture into becoming a publicly traded company.
Let's begin with a spot of roleplay. Imagine this scenario. You get back from work, you launch your game, you hop onto Discord to play with your friends, and suddenly you are stopped. You're stopped by a pop-up, and the pop-up is asking for your passport or a video of your face. Why? Well, because Discord does not trust you to tell the truth about not being a child. Being real, people lie about age in apps all the time, so yeah, they're kind of right not to trust. And very powerful people are...
You guys remember the age verifiers on the porn sites? I mean, come on, who the fuck hasn't lied about that shit? I remember I used to do the thing where you put your age, but you don't want to be just 18. So I'd make myself 53 years old on those things. Unbelievable.
Brandishing pointy sticks at them.
People always
and when I
lie
say
about
pointy
that
stick, think 10% of global revenue. That is literally one of the fines that they could be facing if this stuff cocks up. And the thing is, it's live right now. This is currently happening for some Discord users in the UK and Australia. Rightly, some people are worried about this. As a piece of news, it's concerning.
A face? Verify your age by scanning your face in Australia? What the hell? That seems a bit intrusive.
I mean, hey, one of the reasons why I'm very happy to work with brands like Incogni in our videos is data security. It's a legit problem. But this is just one of the many things happening.
Yeah, that's sus as shit, I agree.
And of all of the things happening at Discord, there is one that, in my view, drives everything the most. And it may even be the reason why their CEO just stepped down. Don't worry, I'm not going to bog you down with backstory, just the essentials and the new update. There is a broad belief from multiple rounds of reporting that Discord plans to go public and is actively engaging with banks to fund going public. This is what is called an IPO. So this would be a big payday for people with stock in the company, like the founders, like leadership, investors, and indeed employees, especially earlier employees. Now, this gives Discord a massive incentive for that IPO to go well. And this
they're being evaluated at $15 billion. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Everybody uses this platform. If you don't know, one of the really valuable things, too, that Discord's putting out there is their ability to basically port Discord into games. So, people say you're a new developer, you want to create a chat function in your game, you can actually port the Discord code into your game. So you don't have to, create your own in-game chat format or anything like that. You just use Discord. You can use Discord in-game to allow players to chat with each other. That's a big thing that they're doing.
Go well. And this is why you see ads. It's why you see the store and a lot of other plays that they're doing.
Yeah,
and per this story that just broke, it is why founder Jason Citron is stepping down as CEO in favor of the former Activision Blizzard chief financial officer.
Oh, no. Oh, it's over, boys. Delete Discord. It's over. If you don't know, this chief financial officer is the one who started putting all the fucking stupid shit in the game. He's the one who was literally stopping creativity because he was saying, how are we going to profit off? We got a whole new zone. How are we going to profit off the new zone? This guy literally was the founder of the fucking WoW store. Shit, man. Oh, my God. Why did they hire this guy? So essentially, you had this guy come in, and it sounds like already the CEO is stepping down because he didn't like the direction everything was going. Oh, my God. Great. Yes. This guy's a Bobby Kotick ball juggler, basically. He's essentially Bobby Kotick 2.0.
I think we know that's a move made for the market. So with that lovely knowledge in
Buddy's really good at monetizing shit, so yeah, stockholders would love it.
mind, let us proceed. And I'll start by why people are right to be worried fundamentally. I do not like my passport being hoovered up. You probably don't like it either. We always hear about the absolute scourge on the universe that scamming is. It's a massive issue. When you go and look at the data of actual farms and basically the way that people used to farm WoW gold, now they farm gold IRL. And it used to only be pensioners who were being scammed. That is no longer the case.
Yeah.
People are rightly concerned about this shit. Now, in terms of big data breaches, Discord are actually far from the worst companies out there. Their largest was 180 users, but look, that shit's gonna happen.
Pretty small.
It's a valid concern. Doubly so if the app has just
I feel like
for your government-issued ID.
A lot of banks and credit card companies are the ones who get, like, you have like hundreds of thousands of data breach, like people's data breached and shit. I've seen those. I've gotten letters in the mail about it.
A lot of people, especially Discord, would say, oh, but actually that's done with a third party. I know, but we're talking about why people are worried. People will be worried the second they say, can I have your passport, please? They will, at that point,
I wouldn't feel comfortable
be worried
with that.
and therefore will not be listening to the nerdy details of why it's actually all okay. And a lot of other things that I'll get to soon that are spicy, actually. But it's not just breaches. We're in an era where bodies like Nintendo and the US music industry are subpoenaing Discord to get user data in support of lawsuits that they would like to bring.
Damn.
Add to that content scraping, third-party plugin breaches, and you've got a really fair-ass fear. Especially when it seems to
That's
be...
it, boys. You got to be careful. Next time you get sued, our Discord chat's going to be pulled into court. You're fucked. Let's just say we're all fucked. If this Discord chat ever gets leaked, boys, the one for this chat, we're done. Oh, we're done. Whatever you're getting sued for, you're going to fucking lose that case, because the shit we say in this chat, oh my God. Degeneracy at its finest.
In the middle of an IPO-friendly glow-up, which does make it feel like this is being done for the wrong reason. But this video is not...
Imagine you're in court trying to defend the shit you've said in Discord. Sir, you say you're a good neighbor and you didn't mean to, say what you said to your neighbor. Then why on April 26th of 2024 did you say, I'm going to finger pop every single person's butthole in this chat? How do you defend that? What are you going to say? Well, you're not going to say much anymore.
A quick look at the sky.
Sam will rat you out, yeah.
I'm not going to do a big man Tyrone on you. I don't.
I'm turning over the evidence, anymore. Boys.
But the point is, right? This is not just a quick rage bait video. We dug around.
Hey, what's
I
up,
want
Zion?
you to know why this is actually happening. The real story is far more goddamn fascinating. So now, let's learn what you will be asked to share and the real reason why Discord needs, and I say needs, to implement this from their own perspective.
I'll tell you why they need to implement it, because they're going to go public, and if they're going to go public, they're going to want advertisers, and if they're going to want advertisers, they need to be able to verify that the people who are using their platform are of age. That's why. It all goes back to that shit.
At least, because when I said people are brandishing pointy sticks at them, yeah, they really are. So we're all on the same level. This is how it works. If you're in the test population trying to access age-restricted content, you naughty old dog, will spark this pop-up. You'll have two options then. One, to record a short video of your face. Two, to submit a picture.
Oh, okay, so it's only if you're trying to look at titties on Discord, that's when you get this pop-up? Oh, okay.
Of your ID. Either way, an automated system will determine your age. If you pass, you'll get in. You'll be able to enjoy whatever it is you do. And Discord will flag you as being an age-verified user. If you don't, you don't. And according to Discord, it's essentially a black box. They will never actually see it. Your photo or video will never be retained by them. And of course they would say that, and immediately I think we can hear the universe shout back, really? That would be lovely, but how can I be sure? Okay. Now I'll explain how this whole shebang works. So, Discord doesn't have your files. Discord definitely won't want your files. I'll get to that soon. And they're not the people who are actually doing the verification here. This is all done with a third-party service provider, and it's an extremely heavily regulated field. Whenever I say that, I'm mostly talking about, well, one example is GDPR, and that's more than just an annoying pop-up. Compliance breach fines are huge. One single loss in Ireland cost Meta 1.2 billion euro.
Damn.
The 5 next ones on Meta in Ireland, because, obviously they...
And obviously, if you're going public, you want to limit exposure to fucking massive lawsuits like that.
They run a lot of stuff.
Pre-watch no.
Well, cost them 405 million euro, 390 million euro, 265 million euro, and 251 million euro. That's quite a lot of money. But this isn't just GDPR, and age gating is actually a whole other thing. As an example, companies operating in the United States are subject to a law called COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and to greatly simplify a very big law, this means that Discord needs to collect parental consent to collect data from children under the age of 13.
Right.
That is why Discord bans anyone under the age of 13 and has to review to make sure that no children use their service. So basically, these services are walking a tightrope. They have to check the details of these scans to verify ages. But if a child provides them with information, such as to verify the age stuff, they can't legally retain that information. And that's why Discord partners with the likes of KID and Verated, essentially companies that act as a black box that will spit back to Discord a simple yes, no. Is verified, is not verified. That's all that Discord ends up seeing, and that means the Discord has got no data to store. Unless, obviously, something went horrendously wrong and was stupidly architected on a technical
Someone's
level.
intercepting the information, going back and forth.
It should work. But now you understand the why. You understand the how, but you don't understand the why now. And I've got one simple answer. The Brits are at it again.
Oh, God.
Discord is trialing this in the UK and Australia, and, well, those territories being the front runners here does suggest that we actually know exactly why this is happening.
It's the damn redcoats. It's those fucking redcoats again. How many times do we got to spill your tea in the damn ocean to teach you a fucking lesson?
It's because in 2023, the UK government passed the Online Safety Act. Then, in 2025, the regulator Ofcom published its guidance on how to implement that law. This is what will be bad and awkward for Discord. It requires an online service where 18+ rated content could be found to implement, quote, highly effective checks to prevent children from accessing said content. But here's the rub. User self-verification, right? So you just checking the box, they say does not count as a highly effective method. Therefore, it is not enough for companies to just do that. They would still be
so the old method of, just putting in the year of it doesn't work in Britain. Okay.
Liable. Now, in Australia, we don't have the full details on how it will be measured.
Australia.
But the country has banned all social media for under 16, so I think they're fairly happy to go and regulate shit. If they...
You know what? I agree with this. I've always been the type that, I'm like, parents need to fucking parent. You need to watch your kids, not let them fucking do stupid shit on the internet. It's not up to governments or whatever to monitor your kids. But I'm fine with a door being shut on 16-year-olds being on the internet. Or being not necessarily on the internet, because the internet can provide them with good research and stuff. But 16-year-old, there's no reason why a 13-year-old girl should have an Instagram and be posting pictures on there. There's a really only bad shit can really come of that. Other than her other 13-year-old friends liking the picture, I mean, what the fuck? There's a lot of sick people out there. Just keep that shit away. Don't give them access to garbage like that. So, I mean, for 16-year-old people under 16 not to be allowed on social media, I'm fine with that. Social media is not going to provide them with anything educational, let's say. They can go use Google to find out when dinosaurs went extinct. That's fine, but don't let them make a fucking Instagram.
They want to. All media is a broad definition. It does, of course, include Discord, YouTube, TikTok.
I mean, we had Facebook and MySpace.
That could count as social media. And in both cases, right, it's legislation with broad political support.
Finally, Sam said
despite obvious massive pushback from invested groups like, say, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and of course, a lot of users who would just rather this not be such a regulated thing. And as for the industry word and things, the EFF called this, quote, a massive threat to online privacy, security, and speech. And if you want to understand why, you can go and take a look at, say, the reaction to something like Netflix's Adolescence, which has had quite the reaction. That's basically what's kind of happened is
What is this? Teenager dissects Netflix drama with worried parents? Huh? Adolescence pulls in audience with its dramatic critique of teenage masculinity. What the hell? Is Adolescence a show? Adolescence reveals a terrifying truth. Smartphones are poison for boys' minds every so often. A television... Well, I mean, the amount of titties and ass that a fucking 16-year-old could get pop-ups for, if they're not even looking for it, that's a sad thing. Like me, one time I made a Instagram and I just put in like I was a 34-year-old male, and I swear to God, everything, when I first made the Instagram, and I showed this to my wife, the entirety of my suggested page was OnlyFans girls. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm coming on here to look. I forgot what I wanted to look at. It was like some type of football team's posts or something like that, or U of M, like Wolverines football. And literally, Instagram saw me as a 34-year-old male and decided to push like tons of OnlyFans content on me. I'm like, what the hell? They figured that shit out from my history. I don't know. But what I'm saying is a 16-year-old boy, probably no different, because a 16-year-old boy could easily just put their not 16, right? They'll put 18, and what's the first thing they're going to get? A ton of OnlyFans content pushed their way. It's ridiculous.
UK political and media classes are really holding
We're in
it
the
up
future,
as
Sam.
a
Titties and
warning
asses norm.
around
Yeah.
children accessing and being affected by inappropriate, violent, aggressive, manipulated, just all forms of content that could be an issue. With stories like that have got human interest level cut through, that perhaps, Big Joanne from down the road, who doesn't really know what the internet is, looks at it and then
Big Joanne.
that's stuff that your average adult is going to be supportive of. And we are seeing support across parties. And all of this is to say one thing very clearly and simply: this is a legal requirement. It's something that cannot be changed right now, regardless of your opinion on that law.
Right.
It's now law. It's going to be happening.
Now, whether or not this is a law, like I said, 16-year-olds off there, it comes down to the parents mostly. You just got to watch your kids, man. You can't give them a fucking iPad and just leave them in a corner.
Discord breaches these rules, they can be fined up to £18 million or 10% of global revenue, whichever is higher.
That's massive.
I think we have a slight suspicion which one will be higher. And that means we can promise that Discord is not the only company who will be trying to work out how to implement these rules. But here's the thing. It's not like Discord was some crazy lawless space before, because Discord has already had photo and ID-based user verification for years. It's just that now they're changing how it's being implemented, and they're ramping it up in response to these legal changes.
Sure.
Legal changes that very much seem on the cards in many jurisdictions. The funny thing about this being news is Discord has always had a whole set of policies in adult content, and broadly that's been pushed on server owners. Whole servers or individual channels can be put behind an 18+ lock for users. How does Discord know you're under 18? Well, because you told them your age when you signed up, you good, truthful person.
Yeah.
If you set your date of birth as under 13, you will be blocked entirely. If you set it between 13 and 18, you will get automatic safe mode where you can't be DM'd by non-friends, and you can't go to 18+ servers or channels. But all of that is self-reporting, and self-reporting does not, pass the threshold for this legislation. And that's because you absolutely can lie about your age and get away with it. And until recently, the lying child, or the responsible parents of that child, were held liable for anything that child saw, not Discord. But now what's changed is the liability has went back to Discord, and whenever a company like that could be held legally viable, guess what? They'll actually do changes, and they'll implement these checks in a way that passes their belief of the legal standard.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you think this stuff won't happen in the U.S. or whatever, but I mean, a lot of times it's the hardest filter to get through, is the one that affects what a company implements worldwide. So, I mean, even like your fucking USB-C charger, if you have a newer iPhone, that's not required in the U.S. That was a European law. But to go around and implement different rules or whatever everywhere is way too complicated. It can lead to problems. You could have mistakes occur. VPNs, people get around shit, weird stuff like that. So they'll just implement the rule hard rule all over the place. They'll change the USB-C everywhere to save money, or they'll implement this everywhere to avoid the issues that could happen if somebody VPNs their way around it or something like that. Now this is a little bit easier than, say, a USB-C issue, because this is a software thing. It's easier kind of to gate in some places and not others, whereas USB-C, I mean, you're gonna have to run 2 different SKUs if you want to have 2 different chargers for different countries. So we'll see how far this goes, but right now it looks like UK, Australia.
If you want to update your age after account creation, you actually have got to prove that in Discord as well. And that's the same if somebody reports you to Discord for being a child. You'll be asked to prove your age, and that can happen.
Right, in the US, you got different states implementing different laws. That's true. Yeah, Pornhub blocked in Florida. Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, and will involve your ID.
The Sunshine State don't like them titties.
How do they verify it? Well, here's how. You'd be asked to take a photo of yourself with your photo ID, with your date of birth, and a piece of paper that shows your username. That's already the case, meaning that neither taking a photo or ID checks are even a new thing. This is just how Discord has attempted to avoid problems in the past. And the way the existing system would work is that if support does not approve based on looking at your ID, then you basically can't unblur the content. You cannot access that stuff because you're not age verified.
I was asked to do this stuff, like photo ID and all this, when I when my YouTube channel became like verified. Right, and I wanted to get paid by Google AdSense and all that stuff. I had to do this, but that made sense because I'm giving them my bank account information, direct deposit, all this shit. You're setting up all that stuff for payment. So, of course, you got to be, you know, above the age of 18, all this other shit going down, and photo ID was required. That kind of stuff we're used to. This kind of stuff where it's just like a social media platform, this is something newer.
And this is
being asked
entirely
for
in
photo
line with how
IDs isn't
companies
new.
like Instagram have handled age verification in the past, so it's something that 100% audiences are familiar with. Though, of course, you know, Facebook, Meta, and all of those GDPR violation penalties,
Yeah,
probably
online
well
banks.
over 2 billion euro that I mentioned earlier. Anyway, what matters to today's story is that this was reactive, not proactive. And the new laws required these companies to just meet a higher standard.
Yeah.
That's why this has changed. And they've tried to solve this by taking the easiest possible approach, which is, well,
Give
the
it to a third
already
party.
existing methods of user verification that people use in other apps. So how do we think about Discord with this? Well, look, Discord does not want to do this any more than it has to, right? This is like not going to make its number go up. They literally just want to avoid massive fines and legislative bollocks, which of course would be really bad if they went public. Could you imagine if they went public and then say that new UK law was applied to them and they got in trouble? That would be bad for their stock price.
Right.
So they do have incentives
Goes back to going public.
be nice and squeaky clean. And to do that in the easiest way that they can, to run one check whenever you try to access restricted content, and basically a check that gives you the same options as if you're trying to unlock your phone. I mean, I know it's literally not Face ID, but to many people, it's kind of similar enough. Be it your fingerprint, which opens my laptop, a scan of your face, doing maybe a quick recording in order to verify you with your bank app. People are actually used to this stuff now. What Discord is trying to do is to take advantage of there already being a massive sector of compliance companies that can deal with all of this and just plug in a third-party thing.
How much you want to bet that, real quick, you want to go down the fucking rabbit hole, how much you want to bet that Verata or Veratad funds politicians? How much you want to bet that they fucking put money in politicians' pockets to try to pass these laws? You make it seem like, oh, these guys are out to be good guys and they just want to help people out and verify IDs to make sure children aren't getting into bad shit. How much you want to bet these guys are in the pockets of some politicians trying to pass these laws and make this shit required? Because then guess what happens? They get new clients because now Discord and shit got to come to them to get verifications done. It all is corrupted.
And just plug in a third-party
It's
thing.
all bad.
Done. Because otherwise, the
it's
risk is
okay.
massive,
Fuck it.
especially because they're getting ready for an IPO. They can't alter government policy, but they also can't break the law and pay fines either. I mean, they obviously could, but that would scare off banks, it would scare off potential investors, and what it would do is raise their cost of capital, because risk is bad, and that risk will be paid for in the form, whatever the terms, are, or higher interest rate.
Yeah.
Any concerns that us users have? Well, those are obviously secondary, because Discord's real goal as an entity right now
Go public.
is to go public
That's
as
right.
successfully as is possible.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, all this shit about verification, whatever, it's something. But the saddest thing about this is the CTO from Blizzard, the one who basically fucked up WoW.
Waste to this realm.
M. Salvador, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. The one who completely screwed up WoW when it came to monetization is now the guy at Discord, and the original creator of Discord walked out after fucking the shit they're trying to do. That is sad. That's probably the most troubling thing of this whole video. Nice video from Bellular, though.